Sul. Hello and welcome to Under the Plumbob, the podcast about all things related to the EA Maxis series of games called The Sims. This is a podcast produced independently and ad-free by a couple of friends with similar interests, including Sims, but also puns. We're very punny here.
Love the puns.
Big fans of the puns. My name is Melissa. I am your friendly neighborhood editor / host / occasional streamer and virtual cat enthusiast, non-virtual cat enthusiast. Just enthusiast. I'm a general enthusiast.
Hey, and I'm Jessica, and I'm also an enthusiast of many, many things.
Yeah, you know what? It's good to have passion, you know?
Yes, it is.
Passion's important. And if that is lacking from my voice today, it's because it's wine o'clock. It's, after a long day of adulting, we're here to talk about the game that we love. So if I don't sound excited, it's just because I'm very sleepy, but I am excited.
Yes, much excitement.
Mucho excitement. So last time we talked on good old Social Bunny, we were sort of wrapping up news from the end of 2019. But since then, we've had a lot going on, believe it or not. And so now we've got some news to bring you from early 2020.
Yes.
I'm hype. There's been some pretty cool news and stuff and things lately.
Mm-hmm. A lot of surprises coming out too.
Yeah. If you're new to the show, glad you're here. And if you have any surprises for us, you can talk to us at undertheplumbobpodcast@gmail.com. We'll tell you all about the other places you can reach us at the end of the show. But first, let's get tiny.
Yeah.
So the big news this January is the release of the Tiny Living Stuff Pack. And we'll dive into all that entails pretty soon. But to celebrate the release of the pack, there was a Tiny Living Stuff Pack stream that went on. By the time you're listening to this, Tiny Living is out. People are losing their minds over it. And again, if you have opinions for us, reach out to us on the socials or hit us up under the Plumbob Podcast @gmail.com. So what are some of the things that came about from the stream?
Well, there was a base game update, which included bookend decor items now acting as bookshelves.
Mm-hmm.
Beds can be upgraded. No more sacrificing style for substance. That's exciting.
Really excited about that one. Mm-hmm.
TVs can now be added to end tables, which that's pretty cool too.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I'm very excited about it.
And the decor amp from the Machino stuff pack now acts as a stereo. But do we care about that?
Do we?
Do we
care? Oh. Good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Just good for them, I guess.
Yeah.
I think we mentioned this. Maybe I'm dreaming it, but I think we mentioned in our last discussion that console players now have access to the gallery.
Yes, we did mention that. That one was very exciting.
I think we talked about it like it was on its way and coming, but it is here. It is here now. So if you are a console player, welcome to the gallery. It is a collaborative space where Simmers now across platforms can share their creations, their Sims, their builds, all of it. If you're not familiar with the gallery, it's kind of like My Library, only global. On the gallery, you'll find creative Simmers sharing their households, lots, and rooms for everyone to download and use. Couple things to know before diving in. The gallery does not require you to have a PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live Gold subscription to access. Ding, ding, ding.
That's awesome. To use the gallery, you will need to connect your PlayStation Network or Xbox Live account to your EA account. And when you first start The Sims 4, you should see the invite link to your EA account if you haven't done so already. You can also link your account by going to Game Options and Other. And linking your account will also unlock Grimm's Ghoulish Guitar.
Yeah, man. It's hardcore. So as I said, this is cross-platform. PC, Mac, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One simmers all use the same gallery now that all of our console players are on this gallery.
Simmers who disable cross-platform play on their accounts will only be able to see creations from simmers that have been uploaded from the same platform.
Interesting. Simmers who have blocked community creations will not be able to use the gallery, but will still have access to my library.
Creations using CC will not be available on PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One gallery.
That one's interesting. I feel like that might not be forever, but I don't want to make any promises.
Yeah.
PlayStation 4 and Xbox One simmers have the ability to block and unblock players from within the gallery. These blocks are managed via your EA account and do not apply to PSN or Xbox Live friends or block lists. All of those fun facts we got from SimGuru Legacy. Thanks for the tips. To our console players, we love you. And we're really excited to see you on the gallery. If you have households, lots, Sims, anything, any creations that you want to upload to the gallery that you want us to see, use our hashtag. We have a bunch, but if you use hashtag Under the Plumbob, hashtag Under the Plumbob Pod, hashtag Under the Plumbob Podcast, hashtag Horses for Vanity, hashtag Plumbob Pod. Roxy's gonna get mad at me because I'm trying to do these off the top of my head. You remember any, Jess?
Hashtag Granny Cult. I'm still working on that one.
Hell yeah, Granny Cult is coming. You know it is. So just put Plumbob and Under and Podcast in some kind of order. We'll find you.
We'll find it.
And with that out of the way, very important console news. Let's talk Tiny. I'm pretty hype about this pack. What do you think?
I am too. It's a really interesting idea, and I can't wait to dive in and really play with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm as of our recent ABC Build Challenge episode, I have been upgraded from building peasant to building duchess. I'm not quite a build queen yet, as has been determined by the build queens on our team, Julia. But I build a little bit, and I really love experimenting with tiny homes. And I really love that this has kind of harnessed that community idea. It's sort of a trend that grew pretty organically, tied to, I'm assuming, the tiny house, tiny living movement in real life that us millennials are being forced to consider because the economy is terrible.
Yay!
But anyway, let's talk about this pack. So you can, a couple features that they talked about on the stream. This is what we know as of, the stream. A couple team members of ours have tested it out. We'll keep updating you on that pack as we learn more. But here's a couple of the items we know about so far. So you can change a residential lot into a tiny home residential lot in build buy mode. You don't have to go to manage worlds.
The tiny home residential lot has 3 different tiers. Depending on how many tiles you use, you receive different lot benefits. While you're building on a tiny home residential lot, there will be a live counter at the top of the screen that shows how many tiles are being used. Pools and floor tiles placed on outdoor ground do not count towards your total tiles. Only tiles with walls and decks, even with no walls, will count towards your total tile count. New social interaction, Sims can now brag about their tiny homes.
So millennial, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is interesting. So it sort of builds in a challenge within building and build mode that is sort of native to the game, which I feel like is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This reminds me a little bit of when they introduced the off-the-grid lot trait.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of acknowledging that, this is sort of a challenge that builders take upon themselves anyway, so let's kind of make it a game feature, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, let's incorporate it into all of the gameplay.
Mm-hmm. So we've got 3 different tiers of tiny homes. First, you've got your small home, and that makes up a total of 100 tiles. The lot benefits include feeling fine all the time, happy, focused, inspired buffs last twice as long, and lighten the load. Using less space means using less energy, which means lower bills.
The second tier is called Tiny Home. It's a total of 64 tiles. Your lot benefits there. You get all of the Tier 3 benefits plus cozy comforts. Relax. Everything is twice as comfortable as it is generally. And you've got the touch. Skills increase at double the standard rate.
Wow. So the theme here is the smaller your home, the more like of these bonuses you get.
Mm-hmm.
I believe 64 tiles is your standard size for the room challenge. We did a episode on the room challenge. That was episode 23 if you want to check that out. The 64 tile restriction is part of the room challenge. So if you play the room challenge now with the tiny living stuff pack, you might get a little bonus. Tier 1 of the tiny homes is called the micro home, and that means a total of 32 tiles. The lot benefits are all the Tier 2 and Tier 3 benefits, so everything we already talked about, plus a benefit called Let It Grow. Plants grow twice as fast as normal, and a lot trait called Let's All Get Along. All relationship gains are doubled, both romance and friendly, for both positive and negative actions. So this is interesting because I feel like the trend with your tiny and micro homes, with your, small housing trends, a lot of it is, self-sustaining. A lot of folks, this is in real life, a lot of folks are doing, like small homes, but growing their own vegetables and fruits. And it's all very, I don't want to say hippy dippy. I don't mean that in a bad way. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of like
very self-sufficient.
Yeah. Self-sufficient, self-sustaining. So I love this little plant feature as well as the relationship gains, which is funny because like we're all in this really tiny space together. I hope we get along.
You either really get along or you really start to hate each other.
Yeah. I mean, it could be good or bad in a very tiny space. For the Tiny Living Stuff Pack contest, there was a contest leading up to the release of this pack where EA and Maxis asked users to show off their best tiny home, show it off in the gallery. And these are the top 10 builders who got a little shout out on the stream, the Tiny Living Stuff Pack stream, for participating in the contest. You've got Tiny Home on Wheels by 2320787.
Tiny Gardener's Shack by A Winged Llama.
Cherry Blossom Towers by Bin Pixie.
Tiny Home with Ruins by Dotty.89.
Ooh. The Hobbit's Hovel by FML Jessica.
Trailer Ufologist by Frau Engel Sims.
Steampunk Tiny House by Mathoo, Mathoo 17.
Up, Tiny House, Big Dream by Serafina, with multiple A's at the end.
3 A's. The Blick Block Effect by Siri Sir, 2 I's, SIIRYSIIR.
And Streamlit Single by Soda Sim.
Streamlit Single, that sounds awfully familiar. So if you're interested in checking those out, do that. If you're on console, now you can explore the gallery and find those if you're interested. In addition to our lot traits, some stuff in the build buy mode is as follows. The Sims art team was inspired by the Hygge style. Hygge is Danish and Norwegian. It's a word for a mood of coziness and comfortable conviviality with feelings of wellness and contentment. That is a lot of descriptions for one word, and that's why the Scandinavians are kicking our butts at just about everything.
Yep. The Sims team was originally going to call this pack the Smallish Stuff Pack, but yeah, cue the dick jokes on that one.
God bless. Just bless your heart. There's a couple new combo items included in the build buy mode for this pack. There are some really cute looking, it's like a TV / bookshelf / radio, and it looks like it's an item that can be used as all of those things, as in like you click on it, you can change the radio station or watch TV or get a book. And the TV inside this covered shelf can be used outside in the rain without it breaking, which is good to know.
Nice. A bookshelf and 2 dressers are all one title. Most bookshelf, dresser, and table items have multi-item spots for max clutter.
Yes, give me all the clutter.
Pretty much like real life for me.
Obsessed. There are also Murphy beds introduced in this pack. Mixed emotions about that from our team.
Mm-hmm.
Vanity's worst fears realized. But there are 4 types. 2 of them have couches that come out of the wall. 2 of them do not have couches. 2
of the Murphy beds come with couches, 2 come without couches, and you have the option to add a couch in front of the one without the couch.
But only if you use move objects on, it looks like. The Murphy beds with the additional side bookshelves can be removed. Interesting.
Murphy beds cannot be used off the grid.
So using the off the grid lot trait, I guess you cannot use the Murphy beds there. Interesting. Oh, these Murphy beds.
Mm-hmm. Murphy bed may cause a slight chance of death, especially broken ones.
Looks like, in terms of the news that we've seen on Facebook and Reddit, there are a lot of broken Murphy beds. The Murphy beds are extremely deadly from what we've seen. But on the bright side, they can be upgraded to not kill your Sims.
Yay! And there's a new ghost for if your sim does get killed by a Murphy bed, they can come back as a ghost that can steal energy from living Sims. They also prevent living Sims from sleeping in the Murphy beds.
Oh my god, that's terrifying. According to Roxy, also you cannot go back to sleep for a while after the Murphy bed tries to eat you. Similar to like a monster under the bed. If you're freaked out by that, you can't do that for a while. The Sims team says that the Murphy bed is less expensive to make while offering more gameplay options. Cool. Bunk beds and ladders would only provide one gameplay option and cost more to make. Those items would cost more because they would have to animate the Sims climbing. The Sims team said that they would need a game pack or expansion pack budget to make a bunk bed with functionality. If that's something the community wants, they say, they will look into it for the future. Hi, Sims team. We want that.
Yes. I love bunk beds.
The community wants that. Please.
SimGuru Ninja also stated that no pack has ever had content held back. They are not trying to rip off the community.
I mean, I buy that. I feel like they're doing what they can with what they've got in terms of... It was cool that they explained it, like, we got different budgets. You got your game pack budget or an expansion pack budget or like a stuff pack budget. So I feel like they're doing the cool stuff that they can with what they've got.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you buy into that or not, some people are always going to feel like small pet stuff or my first pet stuff had some items that probably should have been included with cats and dogs, as well as complaining that you need the cats and dogs pack to get the full benefit of my first pet stuff. Some people are also feeling that there's some content in Tiny Living that should have been included in Discover University. I don't know. What do you think about that?
It's interesting because I know with Sims 3, the Murphy bed came with the University expansion pack.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
So I can kind of see how they feel about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. We also have to acknowledge that Sims 3 and Sims 4 are not created equal. They're very different games.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If you have opinions on that, again, please write into us, Under the Plumbob Podcast at gmail.com. Let's talk about some Cass stuff.
Cass.
Go ahead. You go first.
Okay. Some Cass items inspired by a Japanese term translated as 1 mile wear, meaning clothes you would wear within a mile of leaving home. They're not as relaxed as pajamas, but also not as nice as an everyday outfit. Basically what I would probably wear to the store.
Basically what I would wear all the time if I had the option. I want to find what word this is. Is it like a word in Japanese or like a concept? Like huga. What's the word? I've Googled it.
Yeah.
I want to know. So like lounge pants, I guess, fall into this. Probably like some athleisure falls into this category. Very, very interested in exploring this more. I don't have the pack yet. Do you have this yet, Jess?
I don't have it yet either, no. So I'm interested to see what that's all about.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to dive in. According to Marissa, who watched the stream live, the new clothes definitely will fit with the Discover University pack, as well as the freelancer update that we got a little while ago in 2019. Very cozy yet stylish. Marissa Cowplant will be rocking that new dress / muumuu when this pack comes out. I'm sure she's already like deep into this this new style concept. I'm all about it.
We also got 4 new hairs in this pack that are available for kids and tots. No new clothes for them, though. Boo. Tiny Living was released on PC and Mac on January 21st, and it's coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on February 4th, which also is the 20th anniversary of The Sims.
Oh, crap. Hang on. I'm going to need you to say that again in about 4 seconds. Wait.
Okay.
Wait. Okay, say it again.
Tiny Living was released on PC and Mac on January 21st, and it will be coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on February 4th, which is also the 20th anniversary of The Sims. Woo!
Had to. The 20th anniversary of The Sims!
That is crazy!
That's bonkers. That's straight up bananas. 20 years! I can't. I can't with that. That's exciting.
That is very exciting.
For many reasons, the least of which is not Tiny Living coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One February 4th. I feel like we did a retrospective on The Sims' 19th birthday, but 20 feels like a big year, right? Like 20 is when you can like, I don't know, buy tobacco? No, I think that's 19.
21 out here.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Huh. That might be true for here too. I don't know. I feel like they changed it recently. Anyway, happy almost birthday, Sims. We'll do a full retrospective quite soon about your old age. Speaking of established companies, and it wasn't the best segue, but it was a segue, and I'm going to go with it. EA was recently named a best place to work for LGBTQ equality on the Human Rights Campaign's 2020 Corporate Equality Index for the 12th year. Congrats, EA.
Yes.
Good job. Sim Guru Lindsay tweeted out the news, and then Sim Guru George retweeted it and said, "It is the best place to work." And that makes me happy. I work at a company that has also won one of these, a best place to work for diversity and for equality. So this is a big deal. It's a big deal. And just congrats to EA as someone who works with internal employees and personnel. Like, good on you for giving a crap about the people who work at your company. Good job.
Yep. And that's just awesome to see as just a regular, ordinary person, too. I'm really happy to see that for them.
You're much more than a regular, ordinary person, Jess. You're a regular,
Aw,
extraordinary
thank you.
person. Speaking of extraordinary news, just take the next bit because I can't segue.
Okay. Okay, SimGuru Ninja tweeted out that the community stuff pack cast voting starts next Monday.
Yes!
Or it will have already started. We're not sure. There's really cute stuff, and I'm so curious to see what everyone will pick. And he also included a little sneak peek with hats that we will be voting on, and they are absolutely adorable.
Now, and check this out. I know this is not the most visual medium, but check out SimGuru Ninja's tweet for the sneak peek. There's numbers 1 through 20 of like little hat icons on like little mannequin heads. Jess, if you had to pick one of these hats for #GrannyCult, what would that be?
Let's see. I would honestly have to pick either number 3 or number 10.
Oh, I like number 3. I like the look of number 3.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like number 4 is giving me strong granny vibes, which I like.
Yeah, definitely.
14 would be my other one. 14 with the little bow on top. I'm pretty sure my grandmother had one of those. Roxy's big on number 18, the Viking hat, which, I mean, if I have to pick just one out of these 20, it's going to be the Viking hat with the beard included.
Yeah, definitely.
That's rad. What's exciting about this is I mean, what I hope in my heart is that we will see a quick turnaround because this is all like winter gear. And it is the winter time up here in the Northern Hemisphere where we live. So I would hope to see, if this is what they're teasing, that maybe we get whatever item that we vote on pretty soon. I think that'd be pretty rad.
That would be pretty exciting.
So, speaking of pretty, I can't. I mean, I'm trying, but I can't. Speaking of a grandma named Mary Sue, we had a little bit of a schedule switcheroo. We're holding our Alice in Wonderland build episode for another time soon. We just have to get Build Queen Julia in the studio. And by in the studio, I mean at her own computer in her own home to record. But we really wanted her insight on this episode because she is a build queen, and she has done some amazing, like, cool and quirky aesthetic builds. So Cowplant, when we missed her last time, said, let's just hold on that. And they recorded a fantastically ranty, rambly episode full of the tangents we all love. I am, if anything, overhydrated from that episode. All about like the sim that you play, the sim that you make, that's your like go-to sim that you play. We call them Mary Sues, which is like a term used in like fan fiction for like the character who has no flaws and is perfect, and you kind of go with them every time. Jess, do you have like a standard like formula for when you like just open up a game and make a new sim?
I want to say that I don't, but then I always end up pretty much with the exact same sim, so yeah, I do.
Yeah. I mean, they talk about what traits they usually use. Some of them will surprise you. But I definitely found myself thinking about the patterns I use. It's almost always a woman, and she is just stunningly beautiful every time. I mean, who wants to play with ugly sims? I'm sorry. I said it. I'll probably edit it out later because I have that power. But who wants to play with ugly sims? That's what we have Alpha CC for. Anyway.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just not great with the segues today. But speaking of being bad at segues, let's talk about some shout-outs.
Yay!
Okay.
For our first shout-out from Rihanna MM on Apple Podcasts, satisfying my Sims craving when I can't play. I love listening to this podcast, especially when I'm busy at work or don't have a lot of time to play at home. Being a lonely simmer, it's awesome to learn how others play the game, reminisce about Sims games gone by, and laugh along with the podcast.
We are here for you, Rihanna MM. Like, this is like the only space that I can actually talk about The Sims. In my real life, I don't talk about The Sims. I can't chat with other people who play the game. And that's why I love this show and this community, because we get to talk about stuff.
Exactly. No one else just gets it like we do.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of loving this show, speaking of having no clean and smooth way to transition into social media plugs, we're going to do some social media plugs.
We are Plumbobcast on Instagram and Twitter, Plumbob Podcast on Reddit, Under the Plumbob Podcast on Facebook and Tumblr. Our website is undertheplumbob.com. You can contact us there or email us at undertheplumbob@gmail.com.
We are also on Twitch and YouTube, where we provide the coolest video content. You can find that by tippity-typing Under the Plumbob Podcast in your search bar. It's easy. You know how to do that. We are flush with Twitch streams now. We have two regular streams. You can catch us on Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our After Dark streams. They get a little saucy, and it's Melly, so you know they're getting a decent amount of spicy. And then, if you're not suffering from Sims and Under the Plumbob hangover, you can check in with us on Saturdays at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check us out. We get spicy. We get saucy. I neglect to feed and or bathe children sometimes. It's great. You're going to love it. Also, one of our Simizens, Dom, he is NerdyDude247 on Twitter. He stepped up to the plate, saw that there was some lacking in coverage for console. I'm sorry, Dom. He's still mad at me about it, but it's cool. We're very tight. Dom is our console expert. We're all on the team trying to learn a little bit more about console. But you can catch up with Dom and check out his weekly posts on Tumblr at under-the-console. Check it out. Please subscribe to us, rate us, and review us on whatever platform you use to put us into your ear holes. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Stitcher. We're on TuneIn. We're on Spotify. We're on Google Play. We're on Pandora. We might be on more ways to put us into your ear holes pretty soon. We're considering doing a little YouTube action that isn't like just the recordings of our Twitch streams. We're thinking like maybe our audio goes up on the YouTubes. So stay tuned for more and more opportunities there.
Ooh. We have a Patreon. Follow our page and check out our options. Everybody who contributes gets an invitation to our private Discord channel, so you too can be a fancy bitch.
That's right.
Yeah. We also have merch. The link is in the description of every episode, and you can also access it by checking out our website at undertheplumbob.com.
Carry on.
Okay. Writing and research credits for this episode. Melly and Marissa provided a lot of the notes, and Roxy has also helped us out on this episode. So thank you.
Thank you, as always, to the fantastic Sims fan sites that we use constantly. That's where we get a lot of our information. We love you all, including the Sims community, Sims VIP, Carl's Sims 4 Guide, the Sims Wiki, Iron Seagull on YouTube, Simmers Digest, and last, but of course not least, we thank you for listening, loving this game as much as we do. We're very grateful to our fabulous community. I'm so grateful, and I'm not going to cry about it because we just did a really great take of all of our plugs. Is there anything else to discuss? I feel like that was such a snappity-snap quick episode.
Yeah. It felt good.
I guess we'll see you back in the real world. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Buddies. Dag dag.